The morning air is waiting for us now, calling to the space between the clouds. There's something beautiful in the quiet we have.
Hey everyone, how we doing today? Lacey, Hatcher, and I are down here at the bow range. I'm practicing. I got a moose hunt coming up. Trying to take one with my bow. I've never even killed a moose, surprisingly, and haven't hunted them probably 12 years. Moose season overlaps into sheep season, so I'm in the sheep mountains. I'd rather be doing that. But this year, with unfortunate circumstances, I'm making the best of it, and I'm gonna pull out a moose hunt out of this. And my little dude out there helping mama with her arrows. He's a little helper. This episode of the Hoffman Life Outdoors, we're gonna head to Kodiak Island and go blacktail deer hunting and mountain goats. It was a fun hunt. Typical Kodiak, we had 2 nice days and then 10 days of just absolute horrible weather. But we were able to get on some deer, put a couple stalks on some nice billies. We made it fly out about 4:30. We're gonna head out. We're supposed to take 206, but we're a little overweight, so now we gotta wait for a deer. Lacey brought too much booze.
It happens. We weigh the gear one more time. Checking the weight, and we are off.
Yeah, what's the weight on this? 1450.
And there's something beautiful. We will go as far as our feet can take us. Heaven knows the world that we will find. We'll paint the open sky, illuminate the night. You and I, right where we belong. Where we belong.
What you doing in there?
Staying warm. Just finished packing a few things, bite to eat, and then we're gonna head off for goats. Looks like we might have a little weather moving in.
Got the bear fence almost set up. And spotted some goats up on the mountain. Just check it out. Yep, I'll hand it to you. Tying our food up in a tree before we leave base camp.
What's the plan?
We spotted some nice billies up here in the cliffs, but it's getting a little too late in the day, so we're gonna head over to the ridge over here and look for some deer and hunt until dark, and then head back to camp and go for after the billies first light tomorrow.
Awesome. Hopefully we get another good day.
Yeah,
But,
hopefully.
yeah, we definitely got 2 really nice billies picked out up there. Got a bear chase them over to the right more, but it actually might put them in a better spot. The first day we headed straight out. It was a beautiful day, sunny, very rare here on this island. We were headed up for goats. We had 2 billies spotted, but before we got there, we ran into some deer and pretty much ended up chasing them around all day. Never ended up able to get anything that day. Next morning, same story. We were gonna head up for goats, and sure enough, we ran into more deer, and that's when things got exciting. We weren't able to get it on film. We had 3 bucks up on the hill chasing the doe. We just couldn't get them away from him, so I decided to tuck in the bushes just up ahead Lacey a little bit and hit the grunt call a couple times. And when I did, the smaller of the 3 bucks turned around and came down the hill and beelined right for us. I kneeled down on the trail and he ended up coming right down that trail I was on. Ended up shooting him at 3 yards, and he took off around me and ended up somersaulting completely over Lacey's head. She didn't know what was happening. She didn't know I shot, but as soon as she looked up, there was a deer with an arrow sticking out of her, coming right at her. Scared the crap out of her. Does that scare you a little bit?
Yeah.
He was like, this 6-sight camo works good.
It does.
Did you see him at all? 3 yards.
Really?
That's what he's not the biggest deer. I had to shoot him. He freaking about walked right on top of me.
He about jumped over my head.
Can you believe that? He came right freaking to me. Oh my God. Where did he go?
Down that way.
Did he keep running?
He did like a front flip right in front of me. It landed and then got up and like tumbled.
With the deer coming straight at me at 3 yards, I only had a frontal shot. I figured as close as it was a good shot. When I shot, the arrow buried right in it. I figured it was a dead deer. We started following the blood trail, walking down the hill, and it just kept getting longer and longer and actually less blood, surprisingly. I couldn't figure it out, and we come down around the hill and look, and there's a deer down in the bushes. He ended up laying down, and I mean, he looked like it was a perfect frontal shot. In the binoculars, you could see he was bleeding everywhere still. But where he was positioned, I figured I could sneak in there and maybe get another arrow in him. When I got down in the brush, I eased in as quietly as I could, hiding behind some of the trees. If you look over my right shoulder, you can see the deer start moving its head.
How does that feel?
Well, we gotta find him first, but I'm better than the first shot, apparently. Oh, that's good here.
I'd say so.
When I found the deer, I examined the first shot. It had made a huge hole in the front of him, but it nicked the bone just enough and ricocheted the arrow to where it barely nicked the heart.
How did he not die?
Nice work.
Well, Lacey spotted this deer up on a shelf there. There was 3 nice bucks. This was the smallest of the 3. The other 2 kind of chased the doe off, and I gave it a little doe bleat, and this one came straight to me. 3 yards away, couldn't pass it up. I wasn't going to shoot him at first, but he just got too close. Put a shot on him, hit it right in the chest. Apparently it didn't hit vitals or something, but we tracked him for, I don't know, a mile or so at least, and finally found him bedded down in the brush and put a nice stalk on him, and never knew I was there, what, maybe 10 yards?
Yeah.
And put the final arrow in him, and it was game over. He went about 20 yards after that. I think the first shot would have finished him off eventually, but we found him and took care of it. Pretty pumped, my first Alaska bow kill.
Nice job, Lynn.
Thank you. When we got back to camp, Lacey started cooking up some of the deer. I got the meat taken care of and did a few other things while she did that. Man, that stuff's delicious. Probably my second favorite animal to eat in Alaska. It's always tender, even when these bucks are in the rut, it's still good. Lacey's down there stringing up the meat. And we pull it up here. Hang it as high as we can. Meat care 101 on Kodiak. First thing we cooked up was the heart. Lacey had never tried heart before. It was good. A little chewy, but it was pretty good.
Tastes like regular meat. It's a little chewy.
Yeah?
Chewier than I thought it was going to be.
Oh, don't drop it. Good though?
Try it, yeah. So delicious.
Good work. Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
As it does.
The next morning we got up excited, ready to go back out and hunt again, but the weather had changed. It was blowing super hard and raining really, really hard. We decided to call it a day and hang out in the tent and just cook up some more meat and talk about how Lacey almost got trampled by a deer. Sitting here cutting up some meat. As you can tell, it's pretty windy out.
raining hard. Pretty much the worst day we've had so far. So we put the kibosh on hunting today, and we're just gonna sit around and eat. Lacey's gonna cook me up some meat.
And I might try to talk him into playing some cards.
Maybe.
So we showed you what it looks like inside the tent. Here's what it looks like outside. That's a calm lake. Not so calm right now.
Beautiful out.
It's so beautiful out. Welcome to Kodiak, Alaska.
Alright, get back in here and let all the heat out.
Alright.
One of the evenings, the weather managed to break for a couple minutes. We've been hearing some salmon splashing down at the lake, so we went out and tried our luck.
It's a salmon. Go.
It's so horrible outside.
Time to play cards.
Nice try. You have to get me on video. And we're like, no, not freaking playing cards. Like,
Still
oh,
terrible outside,
I got
though.
him on video, so he can't say no. Ouch!
The weather ended up finally clearing, gave us a break to go back up for goats. I was able to get on 2 nice billies, one a 4-year-old, one about a 6-year-old. I had my eyes set on that 6-year-old, and it actually probably ended up costing me a goat. I had the 4-year-old at 45 yards broadside, and I ended up passing. But you never shoot the big ones if you don't pass the small ones. After chasing around goats for a while, it started getting dark, so we made the decision to head back to camp. The very next day, the weather moved back in, so we decided to try to get out the next clear day. We ended up staying about 2 more days before the plane finally got us. 11 days on the Kodiak Island, 1 deer, a couple past goats, and a lot of cool experiences. Ride's finally here, day 10, and we are packed up and ready to go. It's a good trip. Got 1 deer, passed up on others, passed up on goats, but we're all good. Well, that's it for the archery range today. I'm all sighted in, ready to go on this moose hunt. Now I just need the moose to cooperate. Hope you guys like this show. If you did, go subscribe, like, and even leave a comment. It'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you. Have a good day.
We will go as far as our feet can take.